And no, the bartender's not going to go home with you. She does that to everybody.
Exactly. Quit hitting on the bartender. I have bartender friends. I have female bartender friends. Stop hitting on them. They don't want you.
Yeah, they
They've
don't
never
want you,
wanted you.
but they'll
Half
play
of them
you.
have boyfriends.
All of them have
Yeah.
boyfriends, and the boyfriend will be there like a half hour before closing or something, and then he'll sit at the
Listen,
bar, and you'll feel like a flea, like all of a sudden, then you
listen. That's
realize
if
she
you're
just
lucky.
played you for the last 4 hours.
If you're unlucky, her boyfriend is a biker, and he gonna
Yeah.
snatch
Oh
you up
God.
in the bar because that bar is also the biker group, his biker gang's bar. So they got
It's
like carte
possible.
blanche. So they're gonna snatch you up, take you in the bathroom, beat you to like Tar Heel
Now we got some
Blue,
pulp.
and then
Now we
kick
got some
your ass
Pulp
up out the
Fiction,
bar.
right?
You
Some
feel me?
Pulp
They're gonna
Fiction
Pulp
shit
Fiction
going
your
on now.
ass and kick you out the bar and no one's gonna look at like the regulars know what's going on. They not gonna say
Yep.
nothing like, ah, he's
No.
stupid. But like
Bring
I
out the
winked at
gimp.
him and told him like I did the whole neck slicey motion. Like I was like, no, her boyfriend will kill you. He didn't want to listen. He didn't want to listen. He was like, no, I got this. Like, no, you got a fist coming your way. Coming your way.
Next thing you know, bring out the gimp. Oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
Not
Mommy.
again. Help.
Mommy. Help me. Where did I go wrong?
Oh my god.
Okay, so King XA22, he's self-taught, self-made. Basically, what he's trying to tell everybody. You know, one of those guys is like, I could have never, I could have never even went to school and I'd be all right. I don't know about that. And why are you a king? Everybody calls each other king. Hey, king. What's so special about being a king if everybody looks like a king?
Well, because we should all see each other in the highest regard as kings and queens. You know, it's a form of respect for one another.
Yep. Form
You can even
respect.
go up for, yeah, you can go a step higher and say God or goddess. People do that. There are women in my life who I do address as goddess simply because I hold them to that higher regard. They're
Yeah.
just that dope.
Right?
You feel me? And vice versa. There are people who are me because they feel like I'm just that dope. You know what I'm saying? Because like my motto for life is I'm pretty dope. So if you don't fuck with me, that's your problem, not mine. But to each his to each his own. To each his own,
Right?
yeah.
Exactly. It's all love.
You know what I'm saying? It's all love over here, like the tennis game.
But
Shout out to
bam.
Drake. Shout out to Drake, who I never say this, but I feel like he got on here like one time in the past, like back when it first started. Drake was on here, and he followed me. He followed me and a select few other people. Very few of us have this account, and I'm not gonna say what account it is, but I do believe that Drake follows a few of us. Like Champagne Poppy follows a few of us on this app.
Oh
I
shit.
don't know if I don't know if he's ever going to use his account, but I know he has used it because he's changed the hair on his avatar once. I know how much of a flop. I know how much of like a fucking. I know how much of a stand I sound like right now. I don't even give a fuck because like really like big name like Shaq was on this bitch. Ask some of the OGs that's been on this app. Shaq's been on here. Yella Beezy was on here at first. That was dope. I actually got to chop it up with Yella Beezy a couple times when the app first came out. Thotty Scotty actually did an interview with Yella Beezy. Shout out to Thotty
Oh,
Scotty.
sick. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That was a really dope. But yeah,
Yeah,
this app is
you never
actually
know, but it's dope. You never know because it's
yeah,
an avatar. You could be talking to anybody, really.
yeah, and I did some like CIA, FBI type like stalkerish level like investigation to see if I was like on the right track. Like I had to connect some dots.
Hmm.
I'm pretty positive it's him. I'm just waiting
Yeah.
for him to use the account. I swear, because he's never used it. But I mean, it's Drake. He probably downloaded it because like somebody probably told him about it. Was like, "Yo, this is the next big thing." He's Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm always a big thing, so I should probably like download it, make an account. I don't know if he's ever gonna get on here. I hope he does one day. That'd be
That
dope,
would
just
be
to know that
awesome.
Drake is on the same platform as like, you know,
Right?
It's the biggest artist in the world. It's on a platform like this. That'd be the attention that would bring to stereo would be fucking crazy.
You watch him show up at the Wednesday night talent show. That'd be sick.
Bro. Bro, that would be insane.
Oh, okay. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman caroling choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name.
That's it. That's it.
But that was when I ruled the world. God damn it, that's fire. Thank you, Cactus.
That's what I'm saying. King say is this. Everything has to cater to me. Like fucking, you're in school. You got to do the best you fucking can. I mean, I'm not saying I was there at school, fucking at the edge of my seat trying to learn everything. You don't know how hard it is for teachers these days. They don't know how to fucking teach. They're walking on eggshells because they're afraid these fucking pussy ass kids. You know, yeah, I'm saying them probably, but they don't know how to fucking go about teaching their kids without getting, some kind of accusation thrown at them.
Yeah, it must be a trip today for
Okay,
teachers.
you know what? Fuck going to a certain college. I'm about to start my own motherfucking school. It's gonna be for fucking very intuitive, gifted people. Okay, this is gonna be a top-notch college, like a secret fucking type fucking wizard fucking badass college. Okay, like some fucking X-Men shit.
You're gonna see, like, she went so many places. I was gonna say Hogwarts University, and then she said the X-Men shit. So it's like Professor Xavier's School for Extremely Gifted Young Adults. Professor X University? Would that be a state college? I'm pretty sure he accepts orphans, so I would make it a state college.
I just read. I didn't read it. Well, I did read it. But I saw this meme, and then I read it. So what it said was that the teacher will never teach you enough, or the instructor, whoever, will never teach you enough for you to overthrow them. So they'll never give us enough knowledge for us to overthrow them. By them, I mean the powers that be, right? Mm-hmm. So they're in charge of the schools and what we're taught, and so they're never going to teach us enough to overthrow them. That's why they don't teach us how to do our taxes. That's why they don't teach us how to love ourselves. That's why they don't teach us compassion. That's why they don't teach us really anything useful. That's why I think that's why.
Yep, that's why they don't teach us the history of the labor wars. None of that.
Here's something tax related that they don't teach you in school. I've recently just learned this myself. But if you are a small business, like an LLC or a sole proprietorship, you can actually be taxed as an S corp, which gives you some of the tax benefits of some of the bigger businesses, which is pretty dope. Seeing as how a sole proprietor or an LLC, you generally don't get some of the tax breaks that the higher tier businesses get, or so it would seem. This is something they don't tell you. You don't even learn this shit when you do your taxes. Like they teach, like there's so many like tax workarounds and fucking ways to get around paying for shit. Like I saw, like, legitimately, I saw this tax expert talking, and they said they literally showed me a way that you could literally get the same tax break on a truck virtually forever. You could just buy a truck and write it off forever. But the way that they, like, I got to go back and like look at the different ways that there are tax breaks. There are so many ways. Like literally, most billionaires stay billionaires because they don't pay for shit at the end of the year.
Yep.
At the end of the year, somehow the IRS still owes them money. Type shit.
Like if you're a salesperson that's making a lot of money, you can lease a car, and that's 100% write-off. So you can always have a brand new car, right? And it's 100% write-off. So you don't
every
all
year.
of a sudden you don't pay for your car now. Right?
Because it's written off every year.
Yep. You might have to pay the down payment, whatever to initiate the lease or whatever.
But as far as it goes, you end up not having to pay for that car over the
Right.
course of.
You don't pay a single lease payment because that's a write-off for your business because you use that vehicle for business.
Which is freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. So like I was doing real estate, and unfortunately, like I didn't kill it, but like if I started killing it, I was gonna lease a Tesla and be like, fuck yeah, 100% write-off, fuck yeah, baby. But next time I start stacking some money, I'm gonna do that.
Like that's what I'm doing. Currently, I'm finalizing all the work on my business licenses, and I'm about to start doing some really fun things. Like I got some big things planned.
Nice.
As far as that's actually why I was actually excited about the monetization, simply because of not so much of the charging, but the features that came with it. It allows me to do some things that I wasn't able to do before. Because like I was gonna monetize other places, I really wasn't gonna like charge people here. But seeing as how the features are here and they made it all encompassing, I figured why not?
Why not? That's it. Nice.
Yeah, to the person who was talking about how the school was like a prison. When I moved here from Brazil, the first school I went to had metal detectors, and I just thought, what? I mean, Brazil is pretty violent. We didn't have metal detectors at our school, but I guess also kids just got shot and died. But regardless, I never had to do that. I felt like a criminal going to school every day. I had to go through a metal detector, you know? And it is fucking weird.
Oh yeah, we have metal detectors at our schools.
Yeah, isn't that whack? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old, so they didn't have them when I was a kid, but
metal detector. What was really weird is when they brought in the police dogs, or like there was a gun scare, and they started bringing in police dogs to sniff out like kids' lockers and shit. Like it got into where like that was where they started like getting us really used to like, yeah, your privacy's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start you off in high school letting you know that you have no privacy anymore because your safety is worth more than your privacy. That is the trade-off.
And then where does it end? Do they let them smell all the lockers just to see if there's some drugs too?
Oh, they did. It's because those dogs are trained to sniff out certain things. So they started doing catching drug busts in the midst of them looking for guns and shit. And it's like really fucked up. It's just really fucked up. I mean, you shouldn't.
So they come in under the guise of looking for guns, but then you can arrest 4 or 5, 6 kids.
Yeah,
or 20,
granted,
whatever.
Don't bring drugs to school. It's not smart. But at the same time, you didn't expect a fucking German Shepherd to snitch on you either. So, touche.
I don't know. I grew up in the 80s. We always used to bring drugs to school. I mean, come on.
We're trying to be progressive. We're better. We're better.
I'm not saying it's a good thing, but there were some good movies came out of it. Like what was that, Breakfast Club, right?
Oh, dude, amazing movies came out of bringing drugs to school. God damn.
I'm not condoning it, and there shouldn't be any minors listening anyway.
Yeah,
I don't condone it. We definitely don't condone that.
Keep your drugs at home. But if someone offers you drugs, say yes, because drugs are expensive. Yeah. I'm playing.
That's right.
I'm kidding. Don't say yes.
Free financial advice once again.
Don't say yes unless. No, I'm not.
Oh my God! So the other day, it was the day after Easter, right? And I'm walking across this park near where I live, and I see this Easter egg on the ground, and I'm like, oh shit, that one looks closed. And there's like 3 or 4 that are open and empty, but I'm like, oh snap, that one looks closed. Oh shit! Sure enough, it was, and I'm like, oh fuck, Reese's peanut butter cup? I'm like, I'm gonna risk it.
You're a brave son of a. Oh wow, you're bold.
It was delicious, and I didn't even end up tripping balls.
Oh man, wouldn't it have been crazy if you'd ate that and then just started seeing planets.
Woke up 4 days later, like at the beach, like, oh shit, what happened?
It's like, why is there a diaper on my head? Why does my ass hurt?
Why does my ass hurt? Where did this diaper come from?
Whose pajamas are these? What is going on here?
Where's my hair?
When did I get this tattoo? When did I get a tattoo of Barbra Streisand?
I didn't have a tattoo.
On my lower bicep.
I didn't have a tattoo.
Why Barbra Streisand?
Why my teeth?
Where are my teeth? Oh God! That's what you know. Whatever you did, it was terrible, and it's probably in the news.
Oh, right.
If you wake up with no teeth, you can guarantee whatever you did was definitely.
Or even if you wake up, even if you wake up with one missing, because then somebody somewhere could always be like, "Yeah, here's his tooth.
I got that. Yeah, here's his fucking tooth right here.
I got the fucker's DNA. Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah. I punched this fucking tooth out. I'm pretty sure he was on drugs. He didn't even act. He didn't even flinch. His tooth fell. His tooth flinched right out of his mouth, but he didn't.
Yeah. How do you punch out a molar? Oh, it was tough. It took a bunch of punches. Trust me.
Yeah. I had to go in like sort of like a jackhammer and just kind of drill away at the upper jaw lip. But hey, he just stood there and took it like a champ. He was kind of like one of those like bouncy clowns that goes back and forth. Boing.
I still have stitches. I still have stitches in my jaw as we speak.
Yeah. Shouldn't have been talking shit.
from getting a tooth pulled on the reel.
And somehow that happened on a beach. You always lose your teeth on a beach.
Right? Yeah, exactly. There's not even anything hard around. What the fuck?
Set this fist. I don't know, but we still got a few messages from y'all. We can go get to them.
That'd be a great trippy sci-fi.
Yeah. I've been thinking about writing a screenplay.
Have you seen the movie Memento, bro?
I want to say that I have.
That's kind of where familiar. That's kind of what I was thinking about when I was talking about that. So basically, I won't give it away. Well, it's a simple premise. Basically, the guy wakes up every morning and he doesn't know who he is or where he is. So he has to write notes on his body to remind himself of the day before.
Oh.
It's a trippy movie. So good.
I saw something similar to that, where this dude kept reliving his death every day, but like the thing about it is like he kept getting better and better at it. It was like the way it was set up is like every day he would get better and better at reliving it. Like he would start to dodge the shit because everything would happen exactly the same. Like he was reliving the exact same day over and over, but he would get better and better and progress further and further into the day until he reached the point where he was actually able to move past it. And like, it's a dope ass movie.
He'd live a little bit longer each time.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, like trying to make it to the next stage.
All right, so I just swept up in here. I'm super late, so I don't know what's been said and what hasn't been said. But school after, honestly, elementary did not teach me anything. Elementary school laid the foundation for me to be able to read, for me to write, for me to be able to calculate in my head, for me to communicate with others, for me to understand writing. After that, I really didn't learn anything else. I basically got information from teachers, and then I learned more on my own. So I honestly feel like middle school and high school was just a kind of way to babysit me while my parents were at work, which is why I ended up leaving a lot.
Yep.
I definitely did graduate, though. I don't have a GED. I do have my diploma, but I was not in school. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. It's like it teaches you to conform. It teaches you to either like to obey orders, to do as you're told. And they indoctrinate they make us read these fucking books that they call American history, but nowhere in there is all the horrible shit that I've learned since I've been like 20. And I've learned more in the last 5-10 years because of YouTube. Like, oh my god, right? Like, thank God for the University of YouTube.
Listen, I'm not even gonna lie. I've learned so much in the past couple years from TikTok. Like, shout out to the TikTok community for just being the most whistleblowing motherfuckers on earth. Because the wormholes that I go down after looking at a TikTok, like, what? They did what to my people? Hold on, let me go Google this shit real quick. Wikipedia, come here, ask you.
Right?
And I'll
Exactly.
go diving for 2 to 3 hours of research and just be like, why didn't I learn this shit in history class? I learned about this time period, but knew nothing about these events.
Yeah, why didn't I learn about Black Wall Street in school? What the fuck?
Oh, because of an event that traumatic would have scarred both the teacher having to teach it to the black students and the black students they were teaching it to. They were like, oh, this is a thing that happened in this country.
And it really would have fucked up the narrative that, like, oh no, we're the best country in the world. We're the knight in shining armor. We always do the right thing. We're always for democracy. I don't know where this
narrative came from.
It's been rammed down our throats. There's no truth to it, but somehow some people believe it, and those are the people you see driving around in a huge pickup truck with a fucking flag in the back.
Because the thing is, I don't think a lot of people believe it at all, because, like, from what I can tell, this country has had a constant battle with civil rights bouncing from one group to the other over and over and over and over again. Totally. Like, the 14th Amendment has been amended, like, what? From what I can tell, at least 10 to 15 times, depending on the group whose civil rights were being oppressed.
And I mean, if you just get down to it, the founding fathers were rich, white, landowning men from Europe who came over here and founded a country that was quote unquote free for everybody, which meant their friends who were also white landowning men.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. They had no foresight to understand where society was going to go. They wrote the Constitution for them at the time. And at the time, the way they wrote it, they meant what they said. They wanted all men to be equal and free, but they didn't, like, first of all, black people weren't even considered, they were considered 3/5, I believe.
That's
so you weren't considered a full
That's
man.
How fucked up it is. They were so barbaric that they didn't even consider black people, right? So that's the fucked up mindset that those people had. But so you can't, we can't look back at George Washington and these people. They were horrible people. They were slave owners. Fucking Jefferson raped his slave and had a baby by her. Like, but you'll never learn this shit in a book. A friend of mine, this older dude I met as a neighbor, coolest dude, man. He's a jazz banjo player, and he told me the most he's ever made in a year is $12,000. He's like, and then he looks at me when his wife went to the bathroom. He's like, "Yep, I've always had a sugar mama."
Damn.
And he's like 85 telling me this. He's like winking at me and hitting me with his elbow.
I've always had a sugar mama.
And he only said that when his wife got up and went to the bathroom.
He is smooth operator. He is gonna go together with that.
Straight smooth, dude, and hilarious, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that, but he told me some stories. But that was that moment was pretty funny though.
Yeah. I'll play some more of these messages, see what the people are saying to us.
Yeah, so I moved here from Brazil around 5th, 6th
Brasileira.
grade. And the school I went to, we had to go through metal detectors, and I felt like a criminal or something funky, right? I was like, what is this? Because I'm from Brazil, so down there, it's like, shit is worse, but there's no metal detectors at school, you know? Maybe that's why shit is worse, but either way, I felt like a criminal over here. And so anyway, I went to this art exhibit, wonderful art exhibit at the MoMA PS1 in Queens, and it's called Marking Time, and it's all art either done by currently or previously incarcerated people or somebody who has something to do and has been affected by the system. Anyway, cool. in this art exhibit, they said it's a school to prison pipeline. And it makes sense. That's why they teach us the way they do, so we can just be their slaves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It used to be school to factory pipeline, but we haven't had factories in fucking 30, 40 years. So
yeah. So when all the factories shut down, they built prisons in order to, you know, pick up the slack. Because for a while, prisons were just indentured servitude.
Yeah, one thing a lot of people don't know is that prisoners, you know, they're not forced to, but, you know, a lot of prisoners are working to get credits or whatever, make a little bit of money, but they're only paid like a couple bucks an hour or something, like slave wages. And they're making they're making like Levi's and shit. You know?
Exactly.
Like, how brutal is that, where our government subs out slave labor wages to corporations in for-profit prisons? Like, are you kidding me? What could be more immoral than that?
The only thing more immoral than that is labeling these places as correctional facilities, lying to people, saying that sending them there is for their health, and that these places are meant to rehabilitate these people so that they can then be put back into society. When the actual truth is that once you enter this system, you become such a broken individual. Yeah, you become such a broken individual that you don't know how to act except inside of this place. It becomes your new society.
Mm-hmm. And you learn from people with a PhD in crime, right? They can, you know, you can learn from the people that'll tell you, fuck, man, I would have got away with that bank robbery if I wouldn't have done X, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh, that's all I had to know. Okay. Oh, gotcha.
Which is so funny, right? How wealthy do they have to be to get away with murder? And meanwhile, all the shit is coming out about all these wealthy people paying for their kids to go to get into, not just to go, right? Up to these prestigious Ivy League schools and shit. So shouldn't they have learned goddamn something? Like, goddamn, they should have learned something. And don't all these healthy, maybe they're healthy, maybe they're not, don't all these wealthy, rich-ass kids have nannies? The nannies should know something about right and wrong, right? That's what they spend their time with. There's no way they can claim that. There's no way. Fuck, shit, man. They just don't want us to start a purge, you know? They don't want us to. Because if we all knew how the fuck we could get out of these loopholes, well, I don't know, I'm this, or I don't know, I'm that. Like, there's no motherfucking excuse, especially for these people with all the money. Fuck that.
You said start a purge.
You feel me? Because the idea of affluence is
kind of nauseating, isn't it?
Like for real. Like if they can have affluence, then honestly, I want brocolepsy. I really want to. I was too broke to understand the difference between right and wrong. He's too rich.
Yep.
Why can't I be too broke?
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't I be too broke?
I mean, there's no motivation behind
I don't get
being
nutrition.
too...
I mean, government cheese. Ain't no nutrition in government cheese.
Right? There's no motivation that comes from being too rich, but there's a whole lot of motivation that comes from being too poor, right?
Yeah.
As far as like, fuck, I'm pushed up against the wall, willing to do anything, kind of thing, right?
Right.
I wish I was high on pot news.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did right there. And I liked it too. I did.
Well, listen.
I liked that a lot. That was clever. That's That's very clever. He's one of them.
I don't have
He's
a
one
lot
of
of
them
money, but
fart smellers.
I'll give you 3.14 for some pie.
That Kundalini yoga, how like does that work? Like, where can I go to more research that? I just don't want to go on Google because I know I'm not gonna find the actual facts real quick. Maybe Google Scholar, but I don't know. But I want like the actual facts and what kind of learn more about that.
Yeah, I would check out some shit on YouTube, but basically it's just channeling energy up and down your chakras, up and down your spinal column.
I just followed you, bro. I got some links to some videos and some some reading materials that I fuck with. I'll send them to you. I followed you on here and I followed you on your Instagram, so I'll send them to you, bro. I got you.
Nice. Bada boom. Ask and ye shall receive.
You know?
Well, if they can claim affluence, then I can claim poverty, right? I'd be just, excuse me.
Right?
I'd just
Exactly.
be like,
better argument.
Yeah, I'm too poor. So what, you don't know right or wrong? No, I know right or wrong, but I gotta eat.
That's it.
Exactly.
And that's like the strongest drive on the planet. So like, you don't want a bunch of people to get hungry.
Exactly. That's exactly what you don't want. Because when people get hungry, I mean, we see how well that went in France when the people got hungry. They stormed the Bastille.
Oh yeah, exactly. And like at any like in Katrina, when people got hungry, they just, man, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm hungry. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Money don't mean shit today. I'm hungry. I'm that hungry.
And go ahead and shoot me because I'm starving to death anyway. So what are you gonna do?
You never want your people, and this is why stimulus checks and shit happen, because you never want your people to get too hungry where they say fuck society.
Yep. Right.
When as a people, because that's where revolutions come from. When the people feel like they are starved or something so bad that they're like, you know what, fuck your rules. We're making new rules now. like that when that's when shit like happens, like Target's getting burned down, and riots and raids happening. And Capitol's getting fucking stormed. So I'm like, somebody needs to take note. They're like, hey, maybe they want some shit. Maybe we should give it to them so they stop destroying shit.
Very true. Very true.
I mean, like, normalize society a little bit. We're not supposed to be destroying shit. But that's what happens when you're like, think about it. When a kid is not heard or they feel that they're not heard, they lash out. As adults, we do the same shit. As a society, we do the same shit. If we do not feel heard, we will lash out. Yep. We raise our voices. We break shit. We let it be known that, hey, I have feelings. Feel them.
Yep. Even Martin Luther King, some people think he was just peace all the time, but he has this one quote: "The riot is the voice of the voiceless." So when you feel absolutely hopeless, you're gonna go fuck shit up.
Yeah, it's like society's fight or flight response to what the people as a whole understand to be wrong. Right. That's what I feel it is.
So the point is we don't want people to feel hopeless, so we could take care of people and help them not feel hopeless. But why don't more people get that? I don't get it.
It's because people, they put their faith in the system, and the system is supposed to make sure that everyone is taken care of and that everyone is treated fairly. But the fact of the matter is the system wasn't set up that way. That's what it's supposed to do. And inherently, the system is not at fault. It is the arbitrators of the system. It's the people who run this system. They're the ones who are at fault. Because a lot of them choose to not change things that they know would make a huge difference and better a lot of people's lives. But
straight up. Like AOC just got voted worst legislator. So she hasn't really done anything. She's talked a big game, but she hasn't really passed any bills the whole time she's been in Congress. And her biggest opportunity, she totally just failed on, which was like the hashtag force the vote, right? To force the vote on Medicare for all. Could have been a pinnacle moment. She could have forced Nancy Pelosi to make a stand on that, but she didn't do it.
Yeah. And that's because they make all these big promises because it sounds pretty. They flood their campaigns with bells and whistles, knowing damn
Yep.
well that they're always writing a check 4, 5, 10, 20,000 times bigger than they're ever going to be able to cash or ever actually want to cash. They just want to see. And the thing is, it's worse. We focus so much on the president when it's actually a lot worse for Congress, House of Representatives, because they really don't come into question that often, but they sit there forever. Like basically, they're like that's damn near like the fucking the Dark Council because they
Right,
like
which is crazy because they're the ones making the laws, and you can be in Congress. There's no limit.
There's
Like
no
what?
limit to how long you can be in
What the
Congress.
hell is that? Biden's
We put
been
a
in.
limit.
Biden was in Congress for like 47 years. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. That's too long.
That's what I'm saying. Like you put a limit on how long the president can be in office, but don't limit how long the lawmakers and the judges. Like people die Supreme Court judges. I don't think any office in federal government, I don't think you should be able to die holding that position.
Yeah, to me that's insane. Like, because here in a world where the rest of us, the peasant class, like you can't even count on getting a job where you get retirement anymore. And here these people not only get retirement, free healthcare, but they can work until they're 80 or 90 or fucking whatever. Hell
It's
no.
not even that. It's not even that. It's like you don't hold the social relevance. Like none of these people hold the social relevance to be able to actually make any changes because they don't see anything wrong with systems that have been in place since they were sat.
Yep.
Like if these you see what I'm saying? Like you need to switch these people out so they understand that shit's going on in the world. When they're sitting all in a box. Like the first time the shit actually came to them was this attack on the Capitol, and that was a fluke.
Yep. I saw this great meme once, and it was what did it say? Politicians are like underwear, and they too should be changed frequently.
Amen. For real. Like there's no like no one should be able to die in a federal office.
Or diapers. That's what it was. Yeah. Politicians are like diapers. Right, and should be changed frequently.
And most of them are old enough to wear them. I'm damn sure Nancy Pelosi wears the pens.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly.
She ain't rocking Vicky C's. She rocking the pens. Okay, let's keep it real.
I'm gonna knock the dust off of this.
No fucking way. Ew.
Tying it all back to the triangle I shoved up my ass and the hypotenuse. One of my math, how I learned, the math teacher who taught me how about she taught me about hypotenuse. The whole thing she said was, and I fucking don't actually remember what she said, but it had to do with high. Like I'm high because pot is in use. High pot in use. Like a sign on the door. High, ... pot in use. Hypotenuse. I forgot the joke, but PEMDAS!
PEMDAS! Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
That's great. That reminds me of another sign I saw that said, "Thank you for pot smoking."
Thank you for pot smoking.
So when you read it real fast, you think it says "Thank you for not smoking," and then you're like, "Oh snap!" That's a P.
Alex.
Actually, when it comes to school, I can say schools are absolutely useless, if you ask me, because educational system just is like a manufacturer that produces the same products. They kill our talent, they kill our passion when we are a student, and actually they don't care about emotions, and they just ask us to memorize some useless formulas, some useless information that we know they are not practical at all, they are not useful at all. They just waste our time. They just waste our life, and they ask us to think in the same way that they think. They ask us.
Yep, exactly. To parrot back information. That's basically it. Read, memorize, and regurgitate, right? But like, it was rare that I had a professor that would let me write about something in college that I wanted to write about. I had a couple of them, and that was awesome, right? Because if you're going to write 10 pages, you want to be able to at least do it on something that you're, passionate about. But some professors would just make all the students would give all 40 kids the same assignment. And and that sucks for two reasons. Because you're just being told what you have to care about, and good luck, So there's no passion there. But then imagine being that teacher and having to grade 40 papers about the same bullshit. Like, you're asleep halfway.
Boring as hell.
Right? So you're asleep. You don't give a shit. Right? That's crazy.
And I even seeing that's the thing. That's why I love the idea of entrepreneurs, because they said fuck school. And most entrepreneurs, well, the ones that I've read about that are successful, every single one of them were like real world experience over sitting in a classroom every single time. Like,
true, but sometimes you got to get a certain level of education before you could get that.
And in some instances, you do have to get a certain level of education before you get to that. But the thing about it, it's where you get that education, because you don't have to go to school to get that education.
Or I've had some good experiences with school, but I studied audio engineering in a program at San Francisco State that they offered through an extension program, right? So
yeah,
I didn't have to enroll in the school and take a bunch of required classes. I could just take 24 units that all had to do with audio.
And that's dope. That's really dope.
That's dope. And so I think that's going to become the normal, right? Because that's how the world's operating now. You want to start a record label? Okay, here's how you do it. You want to start a podcast? Okay, here's how you do it. You want to make music? Here's how you do it. Here's how you can fucking write a beat. Bam. Oh, okay, you can play bass. Here, now lay the bass line down on. Oh, you play guitar too? Cool. Now lay a guitar down line. Lay a guitar line down.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Waves.
Now you got a song. Yep.
Wait.
Yeah, I think the whole world's
Yes, my brothers, I love the title. What did school really teach you? Fuck all. Them bastards never taught me shit. Coming from a black man's perspective, them motherfuckers never taught me anything about black man history. So to hell with them bastards. Fuck my history teacher, Mr. Robinson. Some idiot from fucking the Cotswolds. Fuck knows, bruv. He's a dickhead. Yo, them bastards never taught man shit.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's called his story, right? It's the story of the victor is all you get shoved down your throat. You don't get to learn about any indigenous cultures or the depth and history of cultures. You just learn that, America's fucking awesome. Stand up, salute the flag, or you're not an American. Hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, and don't ask why.
You're taught to believe without question and to obey without reproach. You just You're taught to be a penguin for Madagascar. Smile and wave. Smile and wave. That's all you gotta do. Don't do nothing else.
Smile and wave. And we are the best. Just don't ask why. Don't ask for proof.
Don't ask why. Don't ask for proof, and don't you dare ask anyone else other than us that opinion. We're the only ones allowed to say it. Everyone else is gonna lie to you.
And if you travel outside this country and ask that question, you're a panko commie. It's almost true, though.
Think. Yeah. And don't you dare go anywhere else. And then come back here and say that we're not the best place on earth.
That's right. You want to travel? Go to Texas.
Yeah.
You ever been to Texas? You ever been to Texas? I didn't think so. Everything you need to know is in Texas.
God damn it. Mosey on down there to Texas.
I can tell you ain't never been to Texas. Everything you need to know is right there in Texas.
Because if you've been to Texas, you know that this is the best country on goddamn earth.
That's right.
And the heart of this beautiful country lives right there in Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh, shit.
Too good.
You're right about that shit. They didn't tell us the true history about Africa. You know what I'm saying? And how we had kingdoms and shit. And we're more royal people than any people in the world.
I don't know what he's fucking.
You know what I'm saying?
Fucking it up though.
There's some bullshit democracy in this motherfucker. Set up and gave to us and shit. Crooks. Bunch of fucking crooks.
Yeah,
it's true, man.
Fucking crook. Bro, whatever you're eating sounds delicious. Let me
the cultures in north of Egypt. What was it like? Man, I just watched this awesome documentary that like Egypt, Kemet, and this other culture north of Egypt. But yeah, I mean, they don't want us to know how old these cultures are, how the ancientness of the knowledge and wisdom. And then there was this other in Ethiopia, I believe it was, one of the oldest ruins in Africa, and the French and English kept trying to say, oh no, those were built by white settlers. Like no, thousands of years old. Suck on that, buddy. Suck on that one. Suck on that, Smithsonian.
They've tried to whitewash a lot of the truth behind the history of Egyptians and like Africa as a complete total, because a lot of the history of Africa is littered with the bloody hands of Europeans, Eurocentric just domination of what once was just a beautiful and plentiful place.
And still is the most resource-rich continent on Earth.
Every cell phone on Earth has Africa. The minerals for cell phones come from Africa.
Straight up, and it still is carved up by imperialist countries.
Yeah,
right? Like France,
China
French Polynesia
is making a bid. China right now is making a bid for territory in Africa. Like Africa is still considered the holy grail of our planet, as far as minerals, resources, gold, all of that. It's been ravished for close to 1,000 years now. They're still trying to stick a dick in her. Like, God damn, leave Mother Africa alone.
I know it.
Like, she's done. She's tired. She's tapping. Leave her alone.
Pisses me off. And just, if you're going to go, how about just paying for the resources instead of pillaging?
Yeah. Yeah, give her proper fucking, if you gonna take the shit, pay for it.
Should be the richest country on earth. Should be the richest.
That's what you would want if someone came to your country. If someone came to America and tried to take anything here, they got to pay for it. That's how we roll.
Right.
So why the fuck do we not think that another country or a group of countries would not feel the same way? If you gonna come over here and take our minerals, replenish
America,
give us something in return.
Because America
don't just come. Yeah, you feel me? Like this idea that we're like America, fuck yeah. Nah, bro. You feel me? We are not here to save the motherfucking day yet. And we're not.
No.
Most of the time, we're the reason we have to save the day.
Yeah, exactly. Because some shit we were doing 20 or 30 years ago blew up in our face.
Yeah.
Now we got to go fix it.
Nah, we're coming back. We totally forgot we left that war on the oven. We left that war in the oven. Oh, my
damn
bad.
it.
We're gonna come. Shit. Who set the timer?
I got the extinguisher though, man. I got the extinguisher. We're good.
Did we leave South Africa on the stove? We left South Africa on the stove. guys. Who the fuck left South Africa on the stove? Overcooking Saudi Arabia and shit. Fuck. But that's how we treat the rest of the world like a kitchen we can't handle.
Yep, exactly. That El Salvador in the crock pot over there in the corner.
Like we're the head chef of a kitchen that's just burning down.
Yeah. We're like the head chef of a kitchen, but we're doing crack.
Yeah, literally on the stove, just cooking crack while doing it. Like everything's fine. We're gonna be good. Just
the whole restaurant's going down around you. It's gonna be all right, man.
Like, what is he talking about? I don't know. Just make more linguine.
It's gonna be all right, man. Just make the clam sauce.
Oh, shit.
We need more linguine.
Table 7 said they're gonna sue. They found a crack pipe in their beef stroganoff.
Sir, that's not stroganoff. Put your pecker away.
Oh, God. Now he's stroganoff.
That's fondue, damn it. That's fondue, Billy. Bobby, that's not stroganoff. It's called stroganoff, Bobby, not stroganoff.
Come on. Goddamn beef stroganoff, goddamn.
Goddamn thought we was having parties stroganoff and they're talking about goddamn dinner and stroganoff. Yeah, for goddamn.
Goddamn propane.
You do a good boomhauer, man. That was awesome. I can't do him.
Thank you. I love watching King of the Hill.
Oh, fuck, my jaw hurts.
That was my shit. King of the Hill was that shit.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to anybody who used to watch King of the Hill. Bobby,
yeah, that shit's hilarious.
We gotta get propane and propane accessories, Bobby.
Bobby?
This is a propane household, Bobby. Now you get that charcoal the fuck out of here. If I ever see you again, I'm gonna take my 12 time in a row employee of the month propane belt and beat that ass.
Don't be playing with yourself, Bobby. You should be playing with propane accessories.
Now, Bobby, I don't know why you're trying to think of girls. You should be thinking of propane.
That's right. There's no future in girls, Bobby. You gotta think of propane and propane accessories.
And you think about getting yourself a district office in the propane market, and there you go, Bobby. Now you're thinking with gas, but not just any gas. You're thinking with propane.
Propane's the future, Bobby. Propane accessories. Think big. Think accessories.
Is it bad that every time I go to a gas station that has the propane tanks out, that's all I can think of? It's like, God damn it, Hank.
Oh, I know. Same thing, right? You too, huh?
Yeah, it's like, fuck you and your propane, you son of a bitch. You've marked me for life.
I always want to go into the store and be like, I'd like to know where you keep your propane accessories.
Propane. I'd like to purchase some propane. Yeah, I want to purchase all of your propane.
Would you like to buy some accessories to go with your propane?
I want to. Who's selling and managing your propane tanks? They look a little worse for wear.
Now that's a niche market. Go into gas stations and sell propane accessory kits.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my god. Like
that's right.
Propane tank restoration kits.
You can bedazzle your tank any way you like.
Yeah. You want a Louis Vuitton propane tank? We do those. Want a Gucci propane tank? We do those.
We do that too. We can wrap it
In fact,
any way you like.
I did a Gucci propane tank for Gucci. Yeah, bet you didn't know Gucci uses propane and propane accessories.
Scratch and sniff, that one was.
Did one for the Migos. They had one of them big barbecues. I said, propane.
Why, we even did one for that there grocery store, that chain, Slaveway.
Huh? What about the concentration camps in Wally World?
And at the Piggly Wiggly.
Where they don't let you actually wiggly any pigglies.
And that's a damn shame.
That is a shame.
There needs to be more wiggling in the world. Piggly wiggling. Yeah. Piggly wiggling.
Yeah. Piggly wiggly.
They really did. They came over to the New World, the white people. They came over to the New World, right? The Americas, whatever, North America, more prominently. But also they did go to South. And they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and they pretended to. And then they went and told the greatest story ever told to the Africans and had them give up their people and stuff. And they came over and they were like, oh, well, we don't know this. And they were going on these people's words. But mind you, these people promised them a great new life and forgot to tell them they were going to be slaves. They just were, minor clause.
Like, oh yeah, we forgot to tell you we ain't paying y'all shit.
Forgot to tell you that part. Whoops.
Like, that was probably the greatest yeet story ever told by a group of people ever, was what the Pilgrims told to the Africans to get them on that boat. Like, because the yeet started the moment they got them on that boat. Like, we know the slave ship stories. Head to foot, packed in, 400-500. Bro, that was the yeet moment right there. It wasn't even making it to the fucking Mayflower. The moment they got on the boat was like, we got fucked. Yeah, we have been fucked. Yeah, this is hell. And they had, like, most slaves. A lot of the reason there were so many slave ships is because most of them didn't even make it to the new land. They died on the boat. They were dumping bodies off the boat the whole fucking trip. Because like, they didn't treat people like people. They were laying down there in their own sick, their own filth, like, and then forced to work when they weren't being strapped head to toe with chains. Like,
exactly. And instead of just taking care of people, they would just ship twice as many and be like, so fuck it, half of them will die. That's
shout out to, and this is gonna sound funny, but shout out to Blackbeard for the beginning of his career, when he spent a lot because the thing is, people don't know this, pirates were a real fucking thing. Blackbeard was a real fucking pirate. Yeah. And he really did work with slaves. He freed slaves, like, because like the Caribbean was littered with a whole lot of slave trade. Like, the slave trade was prevalent, and a lot of slave ships were stolen by pirates because they didn't only carry slaves. There was currency on these ships as well, because they were, like, as for transfer of, like, trade. But pirates would snatch these ships up, and they would free these slaves for the idea of, like, instead of being a slave to what they're gonna put you through, just be a pirate with us. I mean,
come fight against them, right?
Yeah, which, I mean, and the thing, what set Blackbeard apart from others is because he had at the time there were stories about him being an African prince, but his right hand man was a former freed slave, and he spoke to these slaves, and he's the one who empowered them to follow Blackbeard. This is one of the reasons why Blackbeard was one of the most feared pirates, and why he was so powerful of the day. Is because he was actually able to convince the slaves to work with him. Now, he did turn around to be a sucky son of a bitch, and turned around and started selling slaves, and when it fed his interest and kept him away from the gallows that eventually would be his death. But I will say, up until that point, he was a hero to slaves. Actually, it was weird. There's so much that went on in history in so many different parts of the world at the same fucking time, and you only get bits and pieces of it. But that's why I'm doing the series that I'm coming up with, because, like, god damn it, I love history. I'm a huge history buff. So if anybody likes history, so cool.
Like real history, exactly. Real history is fascinating.
Yeah, understanding like the real shit that happened, like because when you understand what happened, you know how to prevent it. Like one of my favorite quotes: "Those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it." So the more you know,
destined to repeat it.
Yeah, the more you know, the more you can safeguard yourself against, and the more you can prepare for it.
That's it.
Shoot! I didn't realize the messages were piling up like this. So let's run through them.
We got a few.
Oh shit! You don't got it hard in America. I forgot. You have to sing the national anthem every time you walk into a school or your class morning or whatever it is you lot do. But imagine fucking singing "God Save the Queen" every morning when man goes to school.
Oh fuck, bro!
I'm going to London Bridge and I'm jumping off. I'm committing suicide, bro. If that was the case.
God, no. Oh god.
I know. Can you believe it? Like, but you know why they probably don't make them do that? Because like, why do we even allow queens and kings in this day and age anyway? So it would make people think about that, right?
Honestly, I don't know. The thing is, like, the Queen of England is like, I feel like she kind of slid under the radar and just like was allowed to just like, she's here. She's just cool.
Yeah.
No one's gonna say anything.
Except she's really kind of like the biggest fucking thief on the planet, right? Like you look at you look at her crown, the crown jewels, those are all stolen from countries that they pillaged.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Smithsonian Museum and everything, they've got treasures from all over the world. Give them back.
Yeah,
give those treasures back to Egypt. And if
those are treasures that belong to the crown. And they belong to the glory of England.
Yeah, like hell they do.
Which is what I assume she would say.
Yeah,
if ever propositioned with giving up, for one, the crown jewels,
right,
to anything in the Smithsonian. Those I am assuming would be her. I don't think she would give up any of that shit.
Like, to me, in this day and age, it's amazing that there isn't a worldwide call for the Queen of England to give those jewels back to whoever they were stolen from, because they know, the world knows.
Has anyone ever attempted to like, hey, Queen, give us our shit back? No one's ever talked to the Queen like,
right?
Hey,
I think it's about time.
Someone's just knock on Buckingham Palace like, hey, thief!
You've been served.
give us back our fucking diamonds and shit. Yeah, we want the shit in the museum too. Yeah, no, all of it. No, you guys didn't find any of that. You stole all of it. We want all of it.
And what if, like, wherever the De Beers diamond mine is in Africa, what if that country told the De Beers family, you know what, go fuck yourself. These are our diamonds.
All right, first of all, the De Beers family can honestly go fuck yourself. Those were never your diamonds. You guys systematically fucked marriages because you were going broke with your diamonds. Diamonds, okay, I love that you brought up De Beers, because the fact of the matter is, the idea of an engagement ring, that was De Beers' campaign to keep them from going broke because they were mining their blood diamonds. The intrinsic value of diamonds came because they didn't have money. Fun story. Lobster. Lobster was actually slave food. Lobster used to be slave food. Yeah, there was a lobster revolt. Back in a while back when I think it was like, what is it, like 72? Not 72. 1912. It was like, look up the lobster revolt. Look up the lobster revolt. I think it's the lobster revolt in 1912. Where basically lobster was the food that slaves were being given, and then they just said, we're not eating lobster anymore. So they had to rebrand lobster, and lobster was rebranded as this high society food, and thus is why lobster is so expensive. It's expensive. A lot of shit exists for a fucking reason.
Yeah, I never liked lobster. It's too rich for me. I don't like it.
The thing is, I love lobster, but the fact that it's slave food makes me feel away. For one. Yeah. The fact that it costs so much because slaves stopped eating it makes me feel two types of way.
Right.
I'm conflicted. That's like,
I'll take shrimp over. I'll take shrimp over lobster any day.
Oh man, don't even get me started on shrimp.
Man, I'm getting hungry.
like knowing things is both it's a blessing and a burden, because like the more you know, the more conflicting it is to do the things that you used to think were cool.
Right?
Until you find out there's some fucked up history behind it.
You know what? School taught me a lot, but it really taught you how to just like survive in prison, because that's what it basically is. It's a prison.
Whoa.
Like, so in school suspension is pretty much like the holding cell, and pretty much classrooms are like your cell, but you're just like in there for like 48 minutes, and then like you just get recess, which is yard time for jail. Which is at about 30 minutes, only left to 45 minutes free time. Then you go home.
Yep. It's training. Training in conformity and indoctrination.
That's all it is.
So you'll be a good little factory worker, or, when we used to have factories, but now you'll be a good little soldier now.
Be a good little soldier, a model little cubicle worker, because that's pretty much how to train you up. You either be a cubicle worker, you'll train to a trade or a skill. I mean, the same principles work for prison, so they have you set up to where you're trained for the bells of prison as well. Like they really they got it. It's a very efficient, cohesive system they got. I mean, it's a system bent on turning people into sheep or criminals, but it's a system nonetheless.
Yep. Definitely a system. finally honed one.
Check this out.
Oh, sorry.
That's pizza, man. That's pizza what I'm fucking with. All right.
Oh, that sounds good, man.
Let's get on some literature about some motherfucking Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? People didn't even know about Marcus Garvey. I just hit 38 and I just found out who the fuck Marcus Garvey was. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of leaders that we don't even hear about. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk about how women in Africa wasn't even allowed to rule in the kingdom. That's crazy. But look at here. Let me get back at this pizza, man. I'm going to fuck it up for y'all, all right? I'm going to keep it at 100. Big ass shout out to everybody. Straight up from Alaska. Love, y'all.
Oh, thanks, shout out, my guy. Fuck
definitely have
up,
fuck up some pizza for me for sure. Definitely fuck up a piece for me, man, because I got a tooth pulled a week ago Monday, and I still can't eat solid food.
Yeah, he being a soldier right now for even being on right now. I give it some claps for my guy right here, because he's soldiering through a pulled tooth. That reminds me of a little bit ago when I was on here with an abscess in my wisdom tooth.
Oh man,
like a few months ago, I was on here with an app. Like I posted a picture of it. My face had literally swelled up to like 2 or 3 times its size. I was in so much pain. But like I had go ahead.
You got that shit yanked out, right?
Nope.
No?
Only one. Because I have 2 on both sides, and I only got 1 yanked. And
the one that abscessed. Okay.
So like, I'm constantly playing Russian roulette as to which one is going to do it next. I'm so terrified. Because that was so painful.
Tell me about it. So I had braces for like 6 years when I was a kid, right? And they left them on way too long. All those teeth got riddled with cavities, so I have crowns on 4 of my main back molars. So those are all going to fail one by one. This is the second one that failed.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. It's brutal. Thanks, orthodontist, motherfucker.
Like, really? Goddamn.
All that for straight teeth? Fuck, I should have left my buck-ass teeth the way they were.
Yeah, should have kept your crooked smile, man. Got to keep that crooked smile.
Right?
What the fuck are you talking about? You're talking some bullshit.
You're talking some kind of bullshit there, no, Hoser, eh? You are in Canada there? I think he might be in Canada there, eh?
Yeah, might be a Canuck. Might be.
A Canuck in the house. We got a real life Canuck in the house.
And another thing. Infinite thought.
Go get you some, because clearly that's what you've been talking about since I first left the conversation. Now I'm back and you're still talking about that shit. Go get you some.
What?
Get some
What are you
what?
talking about?
Now
Go
we're
get some
confused.
what?
Yeah. Now we need to know.
This is a classic. This is a classic conversation.
That's right.
I don't know what you're insinuating, young lady.
Get your mind out of the gutter, young man, young lady. Young person. Easy for me to say.
That's why they call it Mother Africa, the birth of the planet. Come on.
That's it, bro.
Everything comes from Africa. That's why these Europeans, they're stealing everything.
Yep.
But what can we do? I mean, there's not much that we can do. So we're just gonna have to ride it out until, you know, the Almighty comes and rescues us.
I think there's some things we can do. We just gotta find the right things to do.
That's it. That's it. Little things, you know, little things matter. It's like when you throw a pebble in a pond, you know, that ripple that comes out. So every action has a reaction. It might be minuscule, but it exists. And like some actions you might not see the reaction from something you did. It might happen, you know, after you're gone or whatever.
That's fact.
Actually, the worst thing about schools that I can remember is corporal punishment. I don't know it is still exists in your country or not, but in lots of countries, especially undeveloped country, still some teacher, not all of them of course, but some teacher use this silly method for controlling the class, for keeping a student under their control. They beat a student with everything, and it's awful. Actually, it's really awful. I can remember about myself, about my classmates, that we were beaten lots of times by our teachers, by some of our teachers, and there is nothing, there is no way.
Yeah, that is not okay. Not okay under any circumstance. And any teacher that would do that, you know, what a small person, you know.
Yeah, that's terrible.
To abuse a child? You gotta be kidding me. Especially when you're in a position of power like that. What a pathetic excuse for a human.
Terrible.
No excuse.
What y'all feel about Marcus Garvey? You know what I'm saying? Started free liberation, you dig? You know what I'm saying? That's how you unite the nations. You know, it's time for a new revolution.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
R.I.P. to the honorable the honorable Marcus Garvey. I mean that he was the co-founder and the progenitor of a revolution for our people that we're still fighting today. Like they got the new party that is currently working hard to make strides. And actually, I was watching a podcast where Fred Hampton's son actually was on there. He was on 85 South. He was talking about Judas and the Black Messiah, which is modeled after his father and the people who set him up. It was actually a really deep podcast. If you wanted some more insight on Judas and the Black Messiah, or wanted some like inside track on knowledge on that movie, I definitely suggest watching this podcast. He gives some historical background on what's been going on, as well as some of the things that the party's still working on right now.
Very cool.
Hello, Infinite Thought. Hello, and another thing. How are we this fine hour? And Is that Bryce? What I want everyone to do is I want everyone to clap up this show, follow Infinite Thought, follow and another thing, share the show, take a hydration break, and do a big stretch. And also, tell them, what did school really teach you?
What's up, Bryce? How you doing, buddy?
What's good, Bryce? How you doing? Is that Bryce in the building? Y'all make sure y'all follow Is That Bryce. He's awesome.
Is that Bryce? That's definitely Bryce.
Is that Bryce?
Definitely drop a follow on Bryce. Right? Always got to remember the water, man. Stay hydrated. It's important. We're 70% water. Don't run low.
Hi, can you two follow me?
Okay. Didn't catch all that, but yeah, okay.
I'm looking at you. I'm
liking that. I'm liking that horn right there.
All right. I'm seeing your profile. See what you're doing.
Some sweet grooves, man.
Yeah, I like real history too. So basically what I'm saying is, this might sound a bit funny to you guys, coming from a black man, but let's not forget that even in Africa, all over the world, they used to have slaves. So me personally, I'm not trying to big up the white man, but you have to respect what he did. He's like, fuck this, bruv. I'm not gonna fucking work. Let me just go steal some fucking slaves or buy some slaves and make them work. So me personally, like, coming from an entrepreneur sort of way, like, it makes sense. So I don't know, like,
well, it wasn't a white man that came up with it, though, because Africa, there had been slave trading in Africa for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah, so slave trading.
It wasn't something that some white dude came up with. They just took advantage of it, and they had bigger, better weapons, so they could be like, yeah, here's our price. Take it or leave it.
So we got a few messages left. I actually have to go out of town in the morning. So.
Oh, cool, man. Awesome.
So if you want to, run through these messages, then we can wrap it up for the night. And but I do want to set something else up for us, because I enjoyed this. This was the first episode of And Another Thought for the season. I'm going to be editing up this talk. This is going to be one of the first ones I put under my official new podcast banner that I'm doing for my brand. So
awesome.
Yeah, this is dope. This is really awesome. Thank you all. You're all going to be a part of the first episode. I'm trying to make some cool graphics for it, because I've been getting better with that shit. So I'm trying to make some cool graphics for it. Get some of the highlight comments from the talk. I'm gonna go back and listen to it. Get some of those. Really trying to up the editing and bring more value to y'all. Because if this monetization, I'm a businessman first. So if I'm gonna be charging you, I'm gonna be trying to bring you as much value as I possibly can for whatever you're being charged. Like, I'm only 3 stars right now. So I'm not no fucking rock star. I'm just trying to,
keeping it real for the people, keeping it affordable.
You feel me? I ain't nothing crazy. I've been here for a while, and I do agree, John. Some of these prices are outrageous. Like, some of these people are charging more than HBO Max. You not realize, like, Godzilla vs. Kong just came out, and you think I'm gonna pay more for you than Godzilla? Yeah. Some people have been waiting for that movie longer than I've been born. You think your conversation is worth more than that? I don't think that. I don't think that. I don't think my conversation. I would never tell you to come listen to me instead of watching Godzilla vs. Kong.
Right.
I feel like a part of me would separate from my body and slap me for it. It's like, we're not worth that much. Stop that. Stop. Humble yourself. Humble yourself. What's wrong with you?
Oh, that's so good. And so true. So true.
But seriously though, I appreciate anybody who comes in and listens, anybody who follows. If you feel like I bring enough value for you to subscribe, cool. If you're just here to listen, I'm cool with that too. I don't ever want anybody to feel pressured to subscribe to me. I don't, because like the thing is, I do this because I enjoy it and because I want to, I want to expand minds and give people something to think about.
Same. What he said.
Getting paid is a bonus, but like I appreciate you all. We're gonna get these last few messages about it here. We're gonna wrap things up. Let you guys get on with your night. But we appreciate
we've
you
been
all
doing
for being here.
Yeah, we do. Much love for everybody. We've been on for a minute. We've been on since like I think it was like 10 after 9 we started. So we've been going for a minute, and Infinite's going to fly on and into the infinite beyond tomorrow. So
gotta go out of town. Right. I gotta go out of town and handle some business. But
that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna get through these messages. I appreciate you all so much for being here, and let's do it.
Much love, everybody.
Check into a book. It's called "What They Haven't Taught You in History Class." It's based out of a university out of South Africa. Good literature. I got the book. My friend is from Africa. So, you know what I mean? We got a whole bunch of literature up here in Alaska. We could get our hands on that stuff. But you want to know some real history, what they didn't tell you about Africa and all that stuff what really happened at the times, especially like about Blackbeard? Yeah, true knowledge. But we got more in-depth information.
That's really cool.
I'm definitely going to look into that. Thank you very much. Definitely going to check that out.
It is weird, but at the end of the day, like, one has to just, put the hand up and say, yeah, he did what he had to do to, build up his economy and build up everything for free. Like, obviously I'm not, condoning it, but it's survival, innit? One has to do what one has to do to survive. So, yeah, it is. That's why it's very hard to turn it around, because once you have power, you don't want to let it go. So you have to understand where the white man's coming from. I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know what to say, right? Even though it's fucked up, but they were.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right?
The powerful man at the time, they used to use bullets. And now, they're using their mind, so one has to just, like, respect it, and you get me, brothers, we have to stand up. Minorities, we just have to stand up, and right now we're playing a catch-up game, but, we will catch up, you get me? So, that's it, just catch up. Like, I don't know, like, this is a very touchy subject, like, I don't know, man. It is a very, very touchy subject.
Yep, the whole world's heading towards being like mulatto, though. So, like,
yeah, right. Last message, guys. After this, we're gonna wrap it up. I want to thank you guys so much one more time before we close it out. I want to thank you guys again for being here and just being awesome and contributing to the conversation. You guys are the shit.
The shiznit.
How dare you take shrimp over lobster?
That is the perfect message to end it on. I don't even want to say anything else.
Oh my god, that is a great clip. I'm gonna edit that. I'm gonna cut that one. How dare you?
Dude, yeah. Dude, that was perfect. How dare you take shrimp over lobster?
That was classic.
All right,
what a great way to end it.
Seriously, that was perfect. With that, we'll be heading out, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And another thing, It's been another wonderful conversation with you. Thank you for indulging me and accepting my
thank you,
request.
brother. Safe journeys on your travel, and hope it works out and everything's awesome.
Indeed. I will be hitting you up for to set up another episode because this was awesome. You guys have a wonderful night. You as well have a wonderful night and another thing. And remember, stay infinite.
That's it. Peace out, everybody. Much love.